Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So today in this video we are going to take a look at this USB 3.0 a 20 pin motherboard header adapter. Now by using this adapter you can get two extra USB ports directly on top of your motherboard. So if you have a motherboard that has connections for USB 3.0 ports but your case or your cabinet doesn't have any USB 3.0 ports, you can use this adapter, connect this adapter on the 20 pins on your motherboard, and then you will get two USB 3.0 ports directly on top of your motherboard. And because this is very small and it sits directly on top of the motherboard, you can connect things that you don't often remove from your computer. Let's say your dongle for keyboard and mouse, which you don't normally remove, a Bluetooth dongle or a Wi-Fi dongle, which you don't usually or normally remove all the time from your computer, or anything that you please, you can easily connect them to these USB 3.0 ports. So let me just take the connector out and see how it looks. By the way, I got this for about $4 US. So let me just move the connector out. This is how it came. This is a generic brand. Basically, most sellers import this from China and then they rebrand this with different brand names and sell this in different countries or wherever they are selling on Amazon.in. I got this from Amazon.in and this is how the connector looks. The connector feels very good or decent quality. The connectors are also feels sturdy. This is your 20 pin header. One of the pins is blocked, which will help you orient the connector, and also there is a small notch will further help you orient the connector. So let me just measure the connector so that you will get an idea how big the connector actually is. So here is a scale. As you can see, if you measure the length of the connector, you will see that the length of the connector is about 4.5 millimeter. If you measure the length of the connector in this direction, you will see that this is coming out to be about 3 centimeters. So this is the size of the connector, and if you take a look at the thickness of the connector, you will see that this is a little smaller than 1 centimeter, a little bigger than 5 millimeters. So there is that. Hopefully this will give you an idea whether this connector will fit on your motherboard or not. However, we will check that on my computer as well, whether this will fit or not. Now if you take a look at the USB ports, most of the times what manufacturers do, they do give you this connector which connects to the USB 3.0 header on the motherboard, but at the end you will get USB 2.0 ports. So if you take a look at these connectors, you will find that there are indeed extra pins at the bottom. You can see 5 pins at the bottom and your 4 pins, normal USB 4 pins, so that makes it 9 pin, which does make it a proper USB 3.0 connectors. The connectors are indeed USB 3.0, unlike many other adapters which have USB 3 on this side but the back side is USB 2.0. In this case, these are indeed USB 3.0, but just to make sure, we will test them on my motherboard and compare it to the onboard connectors on my motherboard, and that will surely tell us whether these are actually USB 3.0 or not. So the only thing left to do now is let us connect this on our motherboard and see how it performs. Alright guys, so here is my motherboard and here is the USB 3.0 ports header. And the motherboard that I'm using is the Asus Prime H510ME. Now this motherboard supports Intel 10th generation as well as 11th generation processors. At the moment I'm running an Intel i5-11400 on this motherboard. Now if you look on the motherboard, you will find that in between the SATA connector and this 24 pin connector here, there is our USB 3.0 ports where our adapter can fit. So let me give you a little bit of close up. So as you can see, this is the connector to which our adapter will fit, and as you can see it says U32G1, that means USB 3.2 generation 1 connector. So let us connect our adapter and see whether this will fit on this motherboard or not. Alright guys, so this is a little bit of close up so that you can clearly see, and as you can see on one side of the port there is this small notch which will help you to orient the connector in the right direction. As you can see on the connector itself, there is this small notch there which will align with the notch on the motherboard. Now right off the bat I can see that I'm having a little bit of problem putting this connector on the motherboard, and that is because the 24 pin connector here, this bigger connector, is way close to our USB 3.0 header, and this SATA connector is also way close to our USB 3.0 header, and which is stopping our USB 3.0 adapter from getting in. So what I will need to do is I will need to shave off a little bit of plastic from the adapter, and hopefully then it will fit. Although I would have preferred if this would have worked right off the box. Anyways, if you are somebody who want to buy this adapter, make sure that there is at least 5 millimeter of space on the either side of the USB header on your motherboard. Otherwise this adapter will not fit properly, or you will also have to remove a huge chunk of plastic from this adapter. So let me see if I am able to shave off some of the plastic and then it will work or not. Alright guys, so the adapter is not fitting on our motherboard because of close proximity of the SATA ports and the 24 pin connector. So let me try to shave off some of the plastic using this blade and see how difficult that is. So let's see if I am able to take off a little bit of plastic from there. So as you can see, it is coming off easily. That means the plastic is soft. So you should be able to do this as well without any problem. So let me shave off this plastic and see whether this works or not. Alright guys, so I have shaved off enough plastic so that it should be able to fit now. On one side I have to take a little bit more, and inner plastic was also showing up. When I did that, what I did after taking off the plastic was I took some 320 grit sandpaper and I sanded it off. Now it's completely smooth, and as you can see, it is still strong enough so that it will not break. And let's see whether this will fit in our motherboard or not. So here is our port again, and here is the shaved off adapter. Let's see this time it will fit or not. So I'm bringing in the adapter, and as you can see, now the adapter looks a lot narrower than before. So hopefully this will fit now. So I'm pressing in, and as you can see, it went right in. So our adapter is now connected. Let us see how it performs and do some speed test. Now to test the USB ports, I will be using this SanDisk pen drive. This is one of the fastest pen drive that I have. So I will be first connecting this pen drive on the original USB 3.0 ports that are already on top of my motherboard, as you can see there. So this is the USB 3.0 ports. So first I will connect the pen drive to this port, and then I will connect the pen drive to the adapter, and then we will compare the speed, whether there is any difference between the two, and that will tell us whether these are actually USB 3.0 ports or not. So let me just first plug the pen drive in the original onboard ports on my computer, and then do our speed test using Crystal Disk Mark. So let me just connect it here. So pen drive is now connected. So I have opened Crystal Disk Mark, and our pen drive is now selected, which is the E drive, and which is displaying 57 GB. The pen drive is actually 64 GB. So let me click on all, and we'll come back when the test is finished. Alright, so as you can see, our test is finished using the original onboard USB 3.0 ports. We will take a look at the results later, but let us test speed on the adapter first. Alright, so let me remove the pen drive from the original motherboard ports, and now let us plug in the pen drive in the USB adapter that we've just bought, and then do the speed test again. So let me plug in this port. It is plugged in. Let's see whether the pen drive is detected or not. And as you can see, the pen drive got detected immediately. So the ports are working really fast. So I have opened Crystal Disk Mark again. Again, our pen drive is selected, which is the E drive, 57 GB, that is 64 GB drive. Let's click on all and see what is the speed we are getting. Alright, so the speed test using the adapter is also finished, and prima facie I can see that there is not much difference between the original USB 3.0 ports and the speed when the pen drive was connected through the USB adapter that we just bought. So let us bring in both the results together and then compare the two results. Alright, so here is the result of both the tests put together. On my left side, we've got the test result when we tested the pen drive on the original USB 3.0 ports of the motherboard, and on the right side we've got the test when we tested the pen drive using the USB 3.0 adapter. So as you can see, there is not much difference between the two. On the left side, the sequential read was about 165, and on the USB adapter that we bought, the sequential read was also about 165. On the random read speed, we've got about 10 megabytes per second, and on the USB adapter we also got about 10 megabytes per second. So all the speeds were similar. Let's talk about the write speed, and as you can see, there's a little bit of difference in the write speed. So on the original motherboard ports, the write speed was a little better. However, on the USB adapter, the write speed was not that good. Because of the pen drive was a little bit warm, this could have been resulted in a little lower speed. Other than that, overall the speed between these two ports are very similar. So that confirms that the USB adapter that we bought is indeed a USB 3.0 adapter. Alright guys, so this was my video on this USB 3.0 20-pin motherboard header that gives you two USB 3.0 ports directly on top of your motherboard. So if you're somebody who has USB 3.0 connection on top of the motherboard, but you don't have any USB 3.0 ports connector on your case, so you can buy this and increase number of USB 3.0 ports on your computer. I will be using this for connecting my USB keyboard and mouse because I never remove my USB keyboard and mouse, and the other thing I will be connecting is my Bluetooth dongle. So these two things I never remove from my computer, and because this will be directly connected on the motherboard, I would pretty much never have to touch these two ports ever again. However, you can pretty much use them for any other use that you may have. So that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you find this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.